Hey guys, it's me, ROLLO2413, back with another video. So in this video, guys, what I'm going to be doing is I'm working on some honey stuff. So I'm actually custom lasering the lid jars right now. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take you to it. I've got a few to do. So what we're doing, I made a jig and all that. I've got it all hooked up. And so what we do is we just drop it in there. It's hard to see, but there's a blue light running around there because this is a UV laser. And so what I'm doing, I'm getting them all set up. I had about 30 of them to do. I've been doing some. We already lasered the jars. And so we'll take you along as we do this. You can kind of see what's going on. Each of these laser in about a minute or less. So it gives you an idea. You can kind of keep an eye on the time. I think it's about 30-40 seconds for each one. And I am using a UV laser. And so the advantage of a UV laser is it ablates the surface. And a lot of people consider them cold lasers. But what it's doing, it's changing the surface, so there is no surface texture. Even though it looks like it, this is perfectly flat. If I use the CO2, it would burn into it, but I can get a little bit better color pattern on stuff like bamboo with the UV laser. I can actually go even darker, just adjusting settings. There is no power setting on UV lasers though. You adjust a bunch of the other different settings, so it's a lot of trial and error to get what you want. What I do too is I make jigs for a lot of things. I've got a base kit that I've showed before that actually goes underneath this. I don't have it on here because I had the rotary on the bed earlier and doing some other stuff. And so I took that off to run the rotary, and then all I did was I used the right angle block, and then I slide them to where I need. I can see the laser above it after. I could have put the other base, but I make a unique base that actually all the fixtures indicate identical onto it. So when I was running this, there's the side of my jar. I also have a whiskey jar one, and then I have the big jar one that it sits on also. And then what I do is just orientate them where the grain goes left to right. It seems like it's got the nicest look for a lot of these, and it seems like that's how they were put together. So I just kind of pre-stage them, set them out here in just groups of 2, not too many more. We've been doing a lot of videos with the fiber laser, the 1200 watt, the G-Wiki. This one is a ComMarker. I did a video recently on swapping the board out. I don't know if it's been aired or not yet, but just keep an eye out for that, because they had a horrible issue, and that's why I couldn't use the rotary much, is they designed it wrong and had a kind of a pinch problem with the cables, and it was destroying the boards or messing them up. And so they did fix it. So I did a way of how to, they didn't send them in, they just sent you the parts and have you swap them out. So I put the parts in and got it running how I need to. The big thing too is, like I said, with you can use, the best thing that a UV laser is for one, there's no cut edges if you're using wood, so there's no soot. The other huge thing that they're probably the most popular thing for is glass. Like CO2 is the only other one without putting surface treatments on it. Like a diode can do it, but you got to blacken it or use some other stuff, Surmark. CO2 can do it, but it cracks the glass and fractures it with very big fractures. CO2 is the only one, or fibers, or UV is the only one that does not fracture it. And it technically does. It's more like sandblasting, though. It's not doing spider cracks in it. You can cut through glass with a UV. It just takes a lot of cuts. But it's the setting in general, as long as you got it set up good, it doesn't really affect the surface of the glass, and you can do more detail. You get a higher resolution with this than any other method. It's quicker. You don't have to worry about it cracking as much. The hardest thing is you have a very small work area with the UV laser compared to a CO2. They do make higher powered ones, but like just the work area in general, you don't get as much coverage. But for 90% of the stuff you do, there are ways to do it. Like you can use a rotary attachment. You can set it up. Most of the stuff I do, even on these honey jars, and I'll grab one in a second to show you. Even on this jar, and you can see, so we lasered the logo. We got a logo on the side, logo on the other side. And you can look how close is the detail you can get's very impressive. And you can never do that with the CO2. It would, all that stuff would have broke, or if you try to do that, it would take you a lot longer. So if you ever need glass, and it can be done on other ones, the best method though is using a UV. My kind of number one thing is I've got multiple lasers, and what I tell people is to find the laser that does what you need instead of trying to improvise one laser to do it all. It costs more money, but you'll get better finish, better product, and be more productive. There are options too, like, so this could have been done on CO2. Galvo, like I said, it makes it flatter, but like you could use the Galvo CO2. That's another option. You could use a gantry CO2. A gantry would have took a little bit longer. But find what works best. CO2s, like on tumblers, are amazing because it doesn't affect the stainless. When I've done stainless on here, you can do stainless and you can get it to come out at the shiny part, but you can see it's a lot of trial and error, because a lot of times, and I'll point it up at the top here, a lot of times it's burning the stainless underneath because the laser is capable of doing that. Or what a lot of people call marking it or ablating it. And so, and it can cut through the stainless too if you had it set correctly. And so like on that, you can use it for tumblers. I've used it for glass in general on a rotary. But you just got to get your settings really correct if you're trying to use it as a all-in-one device. It is capable, but what I always tell people is just find whatever works best for what you're needing, and you'll get a pretty good result that way. We did a lot of videos, like I said, with the big fiber. We got some more coming out on that, on how to set it up and how to run it. This video, I've got one more after this, and then we're done. This video was just running some stuff on the UV that I had, and we had to knock these out. then I've got, actually I got a few more. If you guys have any questions, let me know. There are a lot of people using ComMarker. I actually paid for mine. Most of the people you see in the videos got them sent to them free. That's why they don't have like the rotary attachment or anything, and you don't really see much stuff about it. Or they jumped right onto the newest one. I think it's the X10 or whatever they have, because ComMarker sent them more. I paid for mine, and I'm still on the 5 watt, the first one that came out. There is a lot of trial and error. Their information isn't published that much. There's a lot of people use it. UV in general is a harder laser to get dialed in on things, because from laser to laser it varies, and then from part to part it varies. They are like the Swiss Army knife of lasers, though. They can mark on pretty much anything you can think of. Plastic, metal, you can do leaves. There's not much they can't do or mark on. So if you're looking for like a laser that does it all, it will mark on most anything. The difference is like you're not going to do stuff like challenge coins with this. It would just take forever. We're talking days to do like a 3D challenge coin. But you can mark on the surface of brass. You can do things like that, and you can cut with it. It's just not really set to do deep cuts with that. Another great thing is on leatherette patches. There, you do not have the smell of the leatherette, or even if you're using real leather, the smell pretty much goes away. So it's a lot better, like something like that for patchwork. It's great. Cutting them out, it does take a lot longer though, compared to other methods. And when I say a lot longer, it's not like, it's about a few minutes. So I mean, you can set it up to do it all. But the marking on a patch is like the detail you can get's better than any other thing. It's just a UV is going to be your smallest dot size compared to other devices. Like a CO2 is going to be probably your biggest dot size. Then a diode, then a fiber, then UV. And you can look online, and there's a spec size of how big the dot is and the line is. And so the smaller it is, you can get more detail in a part. Something like this, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't need that much detail. As you can see, the part's pretty, it's just font with some other texture, so it's not really that critical. This is one of the, I have bees, so we sell honey. If you guys are interested, there's a link down below. We sell different kinds of honey and all that. Hot honey, we have some really good hot honey. We have bourbon flavored honey, and we just have general honey. We have some other stuff coming out soon, but that's one of the other things. So this is the advantage of having equipment like this. If you have other side businesses or do other things, you can actually make customized stuff. Like, so these jars are, buy them in bulk, but it's got the spoon for it, and so we're doing stuff that small scale. You can customize all these things. And so this is the final one. I hope you guys learned a little bit. Hope you found this interesting. If you guys have any questions, please leave them down below. Please give this a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Please like, subscribe, and follow. And like I said, I'll continue to make more of these. I hope you guys found this useful and helpful. On this channel, we'll do a lot of different things. So again, like, subscribe, follow. I'm Waldo2413. I'm out.
Make sure to hit that subscribe button. That's why you don't miss any more Michi and Bobby videos.